We're talking Lib Dems now. That's right. But still,
Booyakasha! Yes. Now we're going to get spicy. Yeah.
Let's get cancelled. They had their conference at the weekend, and Ed Davey, he's a bit out of stunts now, so he arrived with a marching band, and I would say like it sort of reminded you that since the election, Banter Ed hasn't really made an appearance in the Commons itself, but it was all banner, it was all falling off stuff, it was all like middle-aged divorced dad on the set of Total Wipeout, and then all of a sudden the guy gets in the Commons, most serious fucking solemn guy you've ever met in your life. I'm going to say it, Tom Walker, that his banter promise is like the numbers on the side of the bus. It is the great unfulfilled promise of British policy. We were sold a fucking lie. Ed Davey was going to make us laugh every day, and we voted in numbers. And what has he done that's funny since?
I think he's played a good long game. You know, I think the last election for the Lib Dems was like, this is sink or swim. You know, we could have a really good night, or we could just be fucking flattened once again. And him just, whoring himself out for just funny headlines. They did pretty well. But actually, he's sort of starting to turn into quite a decent parliamentarian, right? He does ask. And also, I think they let's see how well we do, and then we'll find what we stand for once we've sort of done all right at the election. And they do seem sort of this, again, left of centre, but a voice where, what an opposition can do, like poke the bits that sort of get to the nub of it. So I think he's doing really well, and I think it must be frustrating that Mr. Farage, obviously with his 3 or 4 MPs, gets all the fucking headlines, and they did really well. And they do have, they've got a proper chunk of MPs in there now. I'm sort of been oddly impressed by Ed Davey, another exclusive.
Well, that in its own way is a proper hot take. Impressed by the Lib Dems. It's just not something that you see. Not something that you see much. I mean, what I think is odd is that you're right. They've got these MPs. They have taken more definable positions on Trump and on Gaza, but they somehow feel less culturally relevant than when they had 15 MPs. They had an identity then that they were this small band of whittled down failures that got their arse handed to them after showing off by being part of the coalition. And yet with 71 MPs, they don't have as much identity. I think you're right. Like, as on the day that we talk, Reform have made another announcement on immigration. And the left and the right-wing press can't stop just lapping up whatever Reform say. And the other thing about the Lib Dems is when they try to show personality and character, it feels like a group of wacky middle-class people trying to look wacky. Whereas when, say, for example, Andrea Jenkins sung that like weird musical song on stage at Reform, you go, that's who she is.
She really is. She's always wanted to be. She's always wanted to be the lead in her local Amdram, and that's why she went into politics. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, by the way, just for the record, I thought she nailed that. I thought she had presence, she had sass, charisma. She wrote that song. It wasn't bad.
But she couldn't remember because she sang the national anthem at the end, didn't she? And she
probably
sang, she did, and she sang "God Save the Queen." She had forgotten that. I hope people are watching.
No, she was being an ally. She was being a gay ally. Do you realise what's happened here, Tom? Is we're supposed to be talking about the Lib Dems, and then we said, well, we always end up talking about Reform, and we ended up talking about Reform.
Well, I think that says it all, doesn't it? But I mean, I've said my bit about Lib Dems. I mean, how long can you talk about them for, really?
Well, so let's throw in some stats here from this YouGov poll, okay?
Yeah.
Only 8% of Brits believe that Ed Davey looks like a Prime Minister in waiting. Now, that's not high, but, it should be said that Kemi Badenoch only has 9%, and she's the official opposition.
When you started that sentence, I thought you were going to say something really weird at the end, like Bungle from Rainbow. Only 7% of the think Ed Davey looked like Bungle from Rainbow. But no, you're quite right. He looked like Prime Minister.
I think there's probably more people that thinks he looks like Bungle from Rainbow, in fairness.
I mean, I can certainly see him as Prime Minister over Nigel Farage. Well, I can't. I can see Nigel Farage being our Prime Minister very soon. But I'd take Ed Davey over him, but that should be no surprise to anyone.
But interesting. I've never got a sense of real personality when Ed Davey speaks. He's sort of from that technocratic band of politicians. Like when he stands opposite Starmer, I just feel like their kids go to the same faith school. Maybe they go out cycling together. There's just a sort of slightly beige.
Yeah, but you can at least imagine Ed Davey sort of coaching, the under fives football team or something. Whereas Keir would just sort of, I don't know what he'd help out with, really. He's probably on the sort of what do you call it when the PTA?
The PTA.
Yeah, the PTA.
He just wants his only conviction, Keir Starmer, is that he should be running things. Beyond that, there's fuck all going on there.
He should be running things badly. That's what he.
No, he never said, well, in fairness, he just said he should be running them. He never committed. That's very Keir Starmer.
To doing it professionally and well with decent judgment. God, no, that was never on the table. 10%
of Lib Dem voters think they do a bad job in office. That's sort of hilarious, isn't it? People who actually voted for them. Or is that just maybe
didn't that happen with everyone that voted Conservative at the last election, though? We know we've had it demonstrated to us time and time again that you'll do a bad job, but we're voting for you anyway. But there is something quite sad in that statistic. But I imagine that is I voted Labour. Despite myself, I didn't want Keir Starmer to be Prime Minister. I just didn't want those.
Yeah, it would be objectively mental to actively desire that sort of thing. Here's an interesting one. The percentage of men who do not trust the Lib Dems at all, is much higher than women. It's a real significant statistical difference. 22% of women do not trust the Lib Dems at all.
Having zero trust in someone, like no trust in anyone on anything, is you're essentially going, Ed Davey's a fucking suicide bomber. He could just go off at any minute. Don't trust him. Don't go fucking near him. He's a nail bomb in his fucking backpack.
I do not trust the Lib Dem,
but even slightly, not a fucking grain of sand of trust.
It says in the question, at all. It says, do not trust the Lib Dems at all.
Don't trust him with your kids.
The economy. don't trust him with your wife.
Kids or your economy, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like it's getting on for 40%. That's a really, really high figure. And I was just trying to think, why would it be statistically so much higher than men don't trust the Lib Dems? I think it's because no other men that try to seem like nice guys, and we all know what they're up to. That's what it is. You're just trying to get with my wife. That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, but also the reason women trust him is like if he fucking tried it, most women could go, I could fucking have Ed Davey. So that's if he fucking tried it, I'd like to see him try. So that's why they kind of trust him, because they know he won't.
Okay, well, look, there we go. We've done a bit on the Lib Dems. And the thing about Lib Dems, you would think that we've absolutely slaughtered them. In some, you were, reasonably positive, but we slaughtered them in other respects. The thing about Lib Dems, they're just happy to be spoken about. They just feel seen, they feel validated, and now we can ignore them for another 6 months.
But also, if I can offer you a suggestion, Geoff, just edit all of that down a bit, Because you'll lose a lot of...
2 minutes, I mean, I don't want to lose ad revenue. You fucking kidding. We'll do a bit more on reform, put it in afterwards.